What if your voice disappeared right when you needed it most? This is the story of a lion who forgot how to roar, and how he found his voice again. In a strong lion pride, surrounded by the echoing roars of his family. One young lion was different. His legs were strong, his eyes were bright, but his roar was gone. Every time he opened his mouth to join the powerful chorus, his throat seemed to freeze. Fear squeezed his sound into silence, leaving only a small, broken whisper that was lost in the wind. The other lions, powerful and confident, would fill the savannah with their calls, their voices a testament to their strength. But he stood apart, a silent figure in a world of sound. The mighty roar he was born to have trapped deep inside him. The younger lions in the pride often practiced their roars together. It was a game, a competition, and a crucial part of growing up. They would stand tall, fill their lungs, and let out thunderous sounds that shook the ground. Seeing him struggle, they started to joke. "You're a lion with no roar," they'd say, not always meaning to be cruel, but their words stung nonetheless. "Who will ever respect you?" They would open their mouths wide, showing off their powerful voices. And then the scene would cut to him, standing quietly to the side, his head lowered in embarrassment. The more they laughed, the smaller he felt. Soon, he started to walk at the back of the pride, avoiding the roaring practices altogether. He kept his eyes fixed on the ground, as if hoping to become invisible, to disappear from the world that only seemed to value the loud. One night, the weight of his shame became too much to bear. He waited until the pride was asleep and walked far away, into a small, secluded valley where only the stars could see him. He looked up at the vast, silent sky and thought, maybe I really am broken. Maybe a lion who cannot roar doesn't belong here. He felt like a failure, a disgrace to his family and his name. Gathering all his courage, he tried one more time. He opened his mouth, pushed with all his might, but nothing came out. Not even a whisper. The night stayed quiet. The only sound was the beating of his own heart, which felt heavy and empty in his chest. Just as he was about to give up completely, a soft voice drifted down from the rocks above. "I remember you," it said. He looked up and saw an old lioness, her face wise and kind, watching him from a high ledge. She moved with a slow grace, coming down to meet him. "You roared very loudly when you were a cub," she continued, her eyes twinkling with a distant memory. Suddenly, he saw a flash of himself as a tiny, playful cub, letting out a surprisingly fierce, happy roar. "Oh." The old lioness smiled gently. "You see?" She said, "You didn't lose your roar. You just covered it with fear." The old lioness didn't tell him to just try harder or to be louder. Her lesson was different. "First, breathe," she said softly. "Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the strength in your chest." She taught him that a roar isn't just a sound made in the throat. "Your roar is in your story," she explained. "It's in every challenge you've faced, every fear you've overcome." She encouraged him to think. Slowly, he started to remember all the times he had been brave without needing a sound. The time he protected a younger cub from a snake. The time he helped his mother when she was hurt. The time he survived a dangerous storm alone. He realized his strength wasn't just in his voice. At sunrise, the sky turned a beautiful shade of pink and gold. The two lions stood together on a hill, looking out over the sleeping world. The old lioness nodded at him. "Now," she said, "don't try to impress anyone. Don't try to be the loudest. Just tell the sky that you are here." The young lion took a deep breath. He closed his eyes, his heart filled not with fear, but with his own story. And then he let it out. A roar erupted from him, shaking his own bones. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't the loudest roar on the savannah, ... But it was deep, it was true, and it was finally his. When he returned to the pride, the reaction was mixed. Some of the lions clapped their paws in support, surprised and happy for him. Others just rolled their eyes, still unimpressed by his sound. But for the first time, it didn't matter. He didn't measure his roar against theirs. Kay knew its value came from within himself. Your voice doesn't have to be the loudest. It just has to be yours. If you ever feel like you have no voice in your class, at your job, at home, or just in life, remember the quiet lion. Your voice is not gone. It's just waiting. It's waiting behind your fear, and it lives inside your story. This is Learn English with Stories. Thank you for listening, and remember, your voice still matters.